La la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Well, here we are. Hey, Elaine Marolakos Let's start over. I don't know who I am. Who are you? Elaine Marolakos, Edelson, transformational astrology with Astrology Mojo. Welcome. Well, it's an exciting time, isn't it? We talked about the quintiles last time, and we're going to talk about two more. Woohoo! Two more today, and I'm really excited. My husband gave me an idea. He's, the name of his business is One Big Idea. So he shoots in here all the time with big ideas. And he said, why don't you show up and do a Facebook Live on Christmas Day? And I thought, okay, I will. So I'm letting you know that I will be here on Christmas Day. And let me know that you're here because I have a little special something. Okay, so talking about, I'm so excited. It got really warm here in Sedona and unseasonably warm. And I was, hoping for snow or rain the week of Christmas. And so now the reports are in. It will either snow or rain the week of Christmas. I'm so happy. Hooray! Okay, so we're going to be talking about two quintiles. Let me show you what they look like. They are 72 degrees apart. Two spherical orbs, whether they be sun and moon and a planet or two planets. So we are having today, December 21st, 2018, we have a couple of things going on. Solstice, powerful. Full Cancer moon, emotional. And these two quintiles. And there's a whole lot of other stuff going on. And remember, folks, what do I say? If you're new to me, you may not know, but I'll tell you that the planets don't make you do anything. That we live in a cooperation with the cosmos. So when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that in the heavens. So it's all about a cooperative experience between you and what's going on around you. And that includes plants, animals, people, energy, planets, asteroids, all that good stuff. So when we have angles and aspects between planets or planetary spheres in the heavens, they are measured by degree. And those degrees were determined ages ago to set up either something very easy to facilitate or something a little more challenging. A quintile at 72 degrees, I find a really fascinating thing. I've just started working with them more and more again. And I noticed that whether or not you have one in your natal chart, you can take advantage of the ones that happen in the universe as the transits happen, as life continues and goes on, and there's degrees between spheres and wonderful experiences. So the quintile of 72 degrees, I find it's subtle yet intense, and it brings up your inner genius and also your inner talents. But at the same time, as a spiritual angle, it can prod you in places that are uncomfortable. So, on this day in 1785, on this day today, December 21st, 2018, we are looking at activating something in you that is there. Now, maybe you know, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't know what your inner talents or passions are. And with this double quintile, however, you're going to feel something a little intense. Now, my husband asked me several times today, are you okay? And the answer is yes, I'm focused. I'm busy. I got stuff to do. And so no wonder that this particular quintile Saturn is quintiling Mars. Now, I am a Capricorn rising, guided by Saturn. Again, remember, it's not doing it to me. It is my timing that is expressing this way. So Saturn sets the structure. Saturn represents the structure. And it also represents your skin, your teeth, your bones, your joints, your knees, your back, your basic structure, your teeth, everything in your body that's structural. And It can also represent denial. Saturn is a karmic energy, and it brings up the responsibility of something. So look at how Saturn, when it's quintiling Mars at 72 degrees, and I made a little very technical schematic for you. There it is. Mars quintiling Saturn. And then we have Sun quintiling Neptune, and the quintile, that's the word, is quintile, and it means 72 degrees. And the Q is the actual expression or the symbol in astrology. So with Saturn quintiling Mars, it's action, because Mars represents your style of action or inaction or passive aggressiveness, or the head, the blood, also sex or sensual energy in a very competitive way, of sports as well. So I, just speaking from my own experience with Saturn quintile Mars, I couldn't wait to work out today. Now, that's not something that's common in this house. Dean will tell you. I don't jump out of bed looking to work out. And so I did so many things for my body today, you know, my structure, my skin, my teeth, everything. My exercises were all about yoga and stretching. I did a sauna. You know, I just kept going with, okay, now what do I need to do? So I structured my day and I organized things. And so it was very powerful. And I realized that when there's too much of me trying to get organized, I look, you know, intense. So in comes the Sun quintiling Neptune. Now, what's your experience, I'm wondering? So if you're here, just say hello. Let me know that you're here in the chat. Say hi. Tell me your name. Tell me the past 2 days. What's it been like for you? With Sun quintiling Neptune, the Sun basically in astrology represents the focus. What's the focus? Now, sometimes it represents masculine energy as well, or what you're manifesting. And Neptune is also a karmic energy. So Saturn and Neptune, two karmic energies. And Neptune represents denial, just like Saturn, and or addiction, or the opposite, mysticism, or spirituality, or religion, or using some form of focus on meditating in a waking stance, not just to sit with your eyes closed all day, but to focus really well. So this combination of Neptune with Sun, so that's illusion or mysticism, and spirituality and compassion and dreams. Oh my gosh, the dream I had last night. Wow. Mixed with the Sun, that's your focus and what you're manifesting, and Saturn setting the structure. So and Mars taking action. So essentially, as you focus on your ideal vision, and you set up that structure. What's a real structure for you? What is the architecture of your business? Is it getting the kids to school on time? Is it being really organized with, your daily activities, with business, with clients, with family members, with your own body and taking care of your health? You know, as you take action, and after you set the structure, you're going to start to notice that your inherent talents and your inner genius comes into play. That's pretty powerful. And sometimes we think it has to be, 6 years in therapy and I'll get there. And what do I really want to do? I don't know. But you're presented with opportunities, if you're paying attention, to express those moments of inner genius and your real life passion. And sometimes we don't see it as that. My husband had a meeting today with a group of people that he speaks with in his mentoring world, and they were asked to share. Some of the experts were asked to share, and Dean was one of them, on what was the biggest lesson this year. So he did, and it was really helpful. It was very insightful, and it also showed where his talents are. Sometimes you can do something so automatically and not know that this is one of your inner hidden talents, but because you just do it naturally. You don't see it as a talent. You don't see it as a resource. So what I'd like you to do is actually write down all the things that you find are easy to do. They don't have to be huge, amazing, feats. But what's easy for you? Can you do math? I can't. not very well anyway. Are you great at organization? Are you great at art, design? Are you great at insight for other people? What are your talents, natural talents? And as you write this down, imagine you're writing your actual resume. It's your life resume, not so much for that particular business over there. They want to know, do you have computer skills? Yes, I have computer skills. Yes, I have phone skills. You know what? Not everybody has phone skills. So that's a talent. Do you know how to get on the phone and actually ask questions? Do you know how to research? Do you know how to ask the right questions? Do you know what to say in an uncomfortable situation? What do you do when you're faced with something that's kind of awkward? Do you just get quiet and walk away? Or are you someone who can naturally just, roll with it? So these little minor talents that you don't see as talents, they can culminate into your brilliance, your genius. If you tap into them daily and you recognize them as such, you can actually apply them in ways that will wow other people. So, you got to make this resume first for yourself. It's a life resume. What are your talents? So I have one client who is very linear and very focused and will listen. She's a great listener and will take in all the data and all the information and then start to assess what is necessary by way of action. But when you spring a joke on this person, it's, they don't know that it's a joke because they're listening to the information going, all right, what should I do with this information and how can I apply it? Is there something I can help you with? And it's like, it's a joke. Oh, it's a joke. So this person's talents are really about data and information and organizing. Other people, quick-witted and jump in and make people laugh, like my husband, Dean. He's great at that. But what do you do with these little talents? What can you do with them? Well, as you apply them to your life, and I'm going to pull a card for everyone, I'll call it the Quintile card, that when you apply these talents in a conscious way, you actually tap into unconscious areas that are brilliant and your awareness grows. So wouldn't you like to be more aware in as many moments as possible? Hey, Tony. Wouldn't you like to be more aware in as many moments as possible? So I would, right? And I work on it in as many moments as possible. And sometimes I just have a little hissy fit or a temper tantrum. 3 months ago when I booked my dental appointment for yesterday, I didn't know that there was a quintile. And so now I have to have a certain amount of dental work done. Again, that's the Saturn energy, the Capricorn energy that is helping me to set my structure in a very healthy way. So I want you to look at all the little things that are happening in your life right now that you may see as coincident, or that you may see, hi Elizabeth, or that you may see as just happenstance or random. And I had a friend say to me, she had to have a minor medical procedure done, and while she was there, someone had a heart attack. And she thought, why am I sitting next to someone who's having a heart? Like, what is that about? And I said, wow, isn't that a wake-up call, though? Like to look at your own life, to look at this person who's going through this traumatic experience, and then you say, oh my gosh, I am healthy. I am okay. Where's my worry? Where's my head? What am I focused on? So these little moments that are happening right now, they're going to get bigger because we're entering into the eclipse phase in January 2019. Now, of course, we will talk more about that. And I also focus on where the eclipses land in your chart in the holiday special reading. So just find the blue button, click the blue button, and get your session situated so that you can know what's going on for 2019 and what the eclipses hold in store for you. I'll talk more about that on Christmas Day. I'm actually going to be here on Christmas. Hi, I'm good at helping it get overanalyzed. As Shannon says, I am good at helping Good at helping others, yet overanalyze myself. So when you get stuck and what is your birthday, Shannon? What sign are you? I see we have a Sag on the call. We have a Pisces on the call. We have a Cancer on the call. Hi, Elizabeth. And so when you look at what you're great at in helping people, but yet you analyze too much for yourself, then think about during this time, your genius is helping people. Great. But perhaps the flip side of your genius is also allowing yourself to be helped. Now, this is what I mean by the unconscious part of your inner hidden genius or creative talents. Because a lot of times we don't recognize that what we do all the time in the world is actually, there's a flip side to it. So if you're great at giving, then I need you to stop and ask yourself, what's it like for me to get? What's it like for me to allow energy to come my way? What's that like? And if you're uncomfortable with it, then you have only 50% of your hidden inner talent. If you learned how to take that as an example, Shannon, 818, okay, so you're a Leo. And if you learn how to take that energy, Miss Leo, and you allow it to come back your way, you will find even more astounding talents. Okay, does that make sense? So you know what you're good at. You know what you're great at in the world. And you know what your talents are. But the hidden talents are typically the opposite, that are blocked. So just as Shannon's example, you love giving. Okay, you're great at helping other people, but do you allow yourself to get back? And if you started to allow yourself to get back, then you would somehow discover a brand new hidden talent and open up to a whole new world. Okay, so here's a card that I'm going to pick for everyone today related to their hidden inner genius, their hidden passion, Actually, there's two cards that want to come. One is purpose. Okay, well, what's your purpose? Sometimes people don't know what their purpose is. Here, can you see that card? It's a very pretty matrix. So the purpose card deals with discovering what's on the inside. A lot of people walk around saying, oh, I do this thing, but it's really not my joy. It's not my greatest thing. It's not really what I want to be doing. Okay, so what do you want to be doing? And then people will say, I don't know. I'll have a lot of clients when they first come to me, they'll say, I don't really know what my purpose is. Well, everyone's purpose, first and foremost, is to be as present as possible in as many moments as possible. Okay? Why? Because when you do that, what happens is you get to tune into everything that's going on in your mind, in your heart, in your body, and you get to access your inner hidden talents. If you're paying attention, that's if you're present in as many moments as possible. Now, sometimes people see life as a random experience, like, oh, well, I went over there and I did this thing and whatever. I had this great story today. And I'm going to pull that second card because it wants to get pulled right now. Wow. Okay. Creation. I love this card. Why? Because you are creating. As you speak, you are creating. And then as you do that, you discover your purpose. So I went to the supermarket today and there was a lovely girl at the checkout and she had really pretty earrings. And I said, oh, I wish I could wear earrings. I just can't. I said, but those are really pretty earrings and they look great on you. And she said, thank you. She said, last year I was going through a really rough time and a woman from a different state came in and we were chatting and we had a lovely conversation about her vacation. And I commented to her and said, wow, those are really beautiful earrings. And the woman, during the course of the conversation, as groceries were being bought and things were being bagged, the visitor from a different state, just literally took off her earrings, wiped them down, and said, "Here, I want you to have these as a gift." And it took the cashier by surprise. And she was telling me this. She said, last thing, I wasn't asking for anything. And this woman gave me these earrings. And every time I wear them, every time I look at them, I remember that people are kind, that it's not just I have a job. It's that when I start talking to people, this is the cashier telling me this. When I start talking to people, I really feel like I can help people. And whether or not I'm a cashier, I know that I can help people. And I made this woman from a different state feel really good about something that was going on in her life and her vacation. And the next thing I know, she gives me a gift. So isn't that a beautiful story? I just love that. So when you start to create what's going on inside of you, and we use these astrology quintiles, and today, December 21st, we've got the solstice, moon in Cancer, the Mars quintiling Saturn, which is more about action on a structure. Set up a structure for what you really want to be doing. And then we've got the second quintile, and that is the sun, the focus, with Neptune. And that is your ideal vision. That is a dream come true. That is coming out of addiction or the blinders where you don't want to see what's going on. And you allow yourself to access that hidden part of you. So we make use of these angles in astrology. And remember, they don't make things happen to you. The planets aren't doing anything to you. Okay, if an asteroid hits the Earth and you get hit in the head by a rock, okay, then something did something to you. But other than that, this cooperation that we have with the universe and what's happening is prodding you all the time, tapping you on the shoulder and saying, are you aware of how you're really feeling, but instead how you're acting out? Are you aware of what you're thinking, but instead of what you're saying or not saying? Are you aware? So how do we get aware? And that is, in as many moments as possible, take a deep breath, relax, be as present as you can be. And when you recognize what's going on in here and in the rest of your body, and how do you really want to express yourself? What's your inner hidden talent? These quintiles are great for helping you to focus on this particular time frame with the eclipses that are coming in Capricorn and in Leo, and they happen every 6 months, but also these angles that show you what are you creating? What is it that you're creating daily? We get really busy. I mean, one side of my desk has a pile of papers. I'm helping my sister who's out of town with her business. And then, there's Christmas coming, and there's things to be baked and cooked, and there's gifts to be wrapped, etc. So it's busy, 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 right? But then we settle down. My husband and I will settle down and just say, how do I feel? What am I doing? What do I really want to be doing in this moment? And when we start to create this reality and you design your life with intention, then you can move through your sabotage and your denial. And with two very strong planets, Saturn and Neptune, that represent denial, this is in quintile to action and focus. So this is the time to get really clear on, where do you stop yourself from being free? Where do you stop yourself from really living the life that you want to have? Okay, a lot of times people will say, oh, I wish I were enlightened, then I wouldn't have any problems, and I wouldn't feel crappy, and, I wouldn't feel down, or blah, blah. Enlightenment is being present as possible in the moment and not attaching to the swirl of emotions and random thoughts. Every thought is conjoined with an emotion. They work together. So if that thought and that emotion is not serving you to your highest possible end, to help you with compassion, with creation, with your purpose, then you're stuck in a loop of BS. And so that BS it makes you feel alive. It's dramatic. It's melodramatic. And yet, years can go by and you're stuck in this BS, and it's, oh yeah, that happened and that happened and that happened. It's like, okay, great. That happened. Now, what would you like to have happen now? That's the question, right? What would you like to have happen now? So what is the one thing, tell me, folks who are here, what is the one thing you'd really love to be doing? Anything. cleaning out your closet, shining your shoes, buying new shoes. What would you really love to be doing in your life right now? As these eclipses approach, they're going to shed spotlight and cast a glow underneath for what you really want. Shannon says, yes, I am trying to unblock myself, want to love, receive the compassion I give. Okay, then just allow it. Just allow it. And that's for everyone. And so if it takes talk therapy, if it takes journaling, if it takes years of, I wonder why I do this, then how about the very next moment someone says to you, hey, can I help you with that package? And you say, oh, no, I got it. Then I want you to stop and say, oh, I've got Elaine in my head saying, really? Why won't I allow someone to help me? Why? Just allow someone to help you. If you're someone who's always giving, if you're the kind of person who you know that you know more and yet you don't do what you know, then that's okay. We take 5 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps to the right, 6 steps to the left. Whatever we do, right? It's what we do. But when you really want to get focused on who you are and what you're doing, it's not about one-off readings. Yes, my readings are powerful and you will go deep. And there are people on this thread who have had sessions with me or have worked in VIP programs with me, and they know that it comes back to your own responsibility. It is your job to take the information and then do something with it. So sometimes it's really fun when I pull a card, and I'll do this for myself. I'll just randomly go, oh, I'm not focused right now. I need to focus on something. And so then I turn it over and I pull a card and go, oh, here's the card. Symbolism. Wow, what does that mean? Well, what things show up in your life that are symbolic of something else? I had a friend tell me that for a short period of time, I think it was bats. She dreamed about bats. She would turn on the TV and there'd be like a documentary about bats, And then she and I got together a few weeks later and we walked by a store and there was a bat in the window and she said, what is that? What is that about? And I said, well, scrap the dream dictionaries and all the things in the world that will tell you what things are supposed to be. And just start asking yourself, define it as if you were from another planet. And you ask yourself, what's a bat? And you might say, well, a bat is an implement that you can hide under your bed in case somebody robs you. Okay, that's one definition that someone actually said to me. A bat is a creature that has the best sonar, can really pick up on things. Well, that's a different definition, isn't it? So anytime you see things that are symbolic in your life, tapping you on the shoulder over and over and over and over again, you want to stop and ask yourself, why is this showing up right now? What is the universe trying to show me? Your higher self, your total awareness, you are pure conscious love. And that is trying to get your attention at all times in very subtle ways. Just by, oh, that thing showed up again. Or, my gosh, what's that about? I keep dreaming the same thing. What's that about? When I have dreams about celebrities, it's usually when I'm about to make a breakthrough. It's not about meeting the celebrity. It's not about actually being a celebrity. It's just about my breakthrough. When I used to dream about tidal waves, I knew I was going to let go of something I'd been holding, big time fear. And I would have tidal wave nightmares, I would call them, for years until I was doing work in my waking state. And then in my dream state, I was doing work. And it got to a point where after I was about 15 or 16 years, my very last tidal wave nightmare, where I used to wake up sweating and screaming and panic and, screaming in the dream, run, and these waves, like 300, 500 foot waves would be coming. And I didn't know what to do. But as I worked out the fear in my day life, journaling, counseling, using astrology, being really honest with myself, journaling, more writing, more counseling. And after 15, 16 years, my very last tidal wave nightmare, I was in the dream and I saw the wave coming. And instead of doing what I normally did, I looked at the wave, and as it came right at me, I mean, like right at me, 400-foot wave coming right at me, I held up my hand and I went, stop. And it froze. And I walked around and I looked at the water and I looked at the wave and underneath it and everything that was in the water that was frozen. And then I woke up and I went, wow, that was powerful. I learned how to stop the fear and move on. So no matter what kind of symbolism comes your way, no matter what kind of creation you're faced with, you have the ability to imagine, set up a structure for what's magical for you, for what's joyful for you, what gives you that feeling of bliss and happiness. You have this ability to set up a structure around this thing and take action on it. You want to bake the best pie ever? You know, you have tools at your disposal. Practice, right? Now, practice does not make perfect. That is a non-truth. Practice makes experience. And but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the correct thing for you. So as you continue to work on things that you're doing that you want to achieve, and we look at the quintile as an example, the winter solstice, the full moon in Cancer. Now there may be some profound dreams that some of you are going to have this weekend, or there may be some really intense emotions, or it can deal with, the full moon in Cancer can deal with your innate sense of nurturing, but how you don't nurture yourself, how you give it away. Now, what I see here are all women on this in this thread, and for the most part, women give it away, right? Let's not. I mean, yeah, give it away, but give to yourself too. That's important. You know, you're in the mix, and it's not negative selfish. It is necessary so that as you acknowledge yourself and validate yourself, you will be validated and acknowledged from the outside world. That's how that works. That's the energy practice of really focusing on what you put out, you will get back if you allow it. If you don't allow it, it can't come your way. Then you're saying no. So we don't want to say no, right? We don't want to say no. Let's say yes. Say yes to empowerment. Say yes to that inner bliss that you are. And take advantage, please take advantage of the holiday special session that I have. It's a 30-minute session that we're going to talk about where the eclipses are landing in your chart. I'm just going to touch on that and what 2019 and 2020 hold in store for you as you're focusing on it. It's not just going to drop out of the sky. It's if you want to break a pattern and if you feel derailed, I'll put you back on track. If you feel like you're just getting there and you're not sure where to go next, then we'll talk about that. So click on the blue button on the page, or you might have to scroll down if you're on a phone or a tablet, and get your holiday special now with me. All right. So how is everyone doing? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're there and you're listening. Or have I lulled you to sleep? Jingle bells. How are we doing, everybody? I'm going to take a sip. Okay. What's your karma? I'm going to do a whole thing on what's your karma in an upcoming Facebook Live. I will be back on Christmas, actually. So if you show up, I've got a little something special for you. So look for me on Christmas. And all right, here's the final card for today. My friends. Hi, Amanda. Okay. So reflection. Reflection. Do you know what reflection really is? The planets mirror you. That's a reflection. Your life experience will mirror you. That's a reflection. If you're really angry and you're holding it in, you could trip, hurt your ankle, get into a minor fender bender, have people come up to you and just be rude, you know. But if you don't attach to that kind of stuff and you look at what is it really reflecting, it's very similar to the symbolism But when you are ready to move energy on the inside, what happens is it will start to reflect back to you from the outside. So you could be in a really funky mood and then start to move that energy with all the tools, everything I've talked about. And then suddenly you start to feel a little bit more empowered, more confident, more decisive, a little bit happier. And then someone you know who is kind of having a rough time comes by and, says that thing or does that thing or doesn't do or say that thing that you would always hope that they did. And it doesn't bother you as much because you're detached from it. You're not removed from feeling. You are detached from having to be part of the melodrama. Okay, we're going to step to the right. Remember that Polish expression that I talked about once? Not my circus, not my monkeys. So when you learn how to reflect back, look at things in life. It could be nature, trees, the weather, your pets. It could be someone you love or care about. It could be your reflection in the mirror. Let it be that. Let it be that. And then let there be peace on earth. And let it begin with you. And when you look at that reflection, what are you seeing? I mean, the hardest thing for people to do when I work with them, and from the beginning, when I'm really starting from the beginning, it's look inside. What do you see? Look in the mirror. Look into your eyes. What do you see? And what people start to see is the feelings that they don't want to feel. The resentment, the sadness, the loss, the confusion, the indecision. And then I say, keep looking, because what you'll see is the original spark. You are pure conscious love, my friends. You are pure conscious love. You have the power to create, the power to destroy as well, but the power to stop a thing in motion that no longer serves you. Let that be your Christmas present to yourself this year, or your Hanukkah present, or your Kwanzaa present, or your daily present, or your gift just because you breathe. Why not, right? You matter because your matter is divine. So let that matter be something that reflects beauty back into the world, and we will make this place a little bit better and easier to deal with. And then we can all have a cookie. All right. How does that sound? Yay. Hey, Laura. Hey, Tony. So, all right, I will be back on Christmas with a little bit something special for anyone who shows up. And other than that, thank you for being here. Thank you for being sparkly. Remember the quintiles, the solstice, the moon in Cancer. They all are here to cast that glow, shine a light, make you think, open up to get out of your head, get out of the judgment, get out of the negative space, and do your best to put that reflection of life and light back into the world, because it's up to us. If we don't, no one will. Okay? And I'm going to start with me. I'm baking cookies once I'm done with this. All right, I'll see you on Christmas. Be well. Thank you.